I should say just a word about IISD. We are the institute, the International Institute for Sustainable Development. We've been headquartered in Winnipeg for 20 years since we were established here with Mr. Philman's support. We believe in sustainable development, which is that the future for humanity depends on integrating social and environmental and economic concerns. And we've heard in the in some of the presentations you've seen so far this evening, much discussion on the social and environmental side, and we'll give you a twist with my presentation. I'll actually bring in the economic. We think that we'll need to for durable solutions in the region. I'll also give you a snapshot of what we've been doing at the, I should probably get a little closer to the mic, what we've been doing at the Lake Winnipeg Basin Summit. Essentially, we are creating a vision of the future. A vision of the future based on what we think are our leading edge concepts, policy, technology, management, and we're plotting a course to that future. It's a process called backcasting. And what we're doing is we're alerting people to the tremendous opportunity that we see around the corner as we embrace the sixth wave of innovation. You see the first wave beginning at the very beginning of the Industrial Revolution based on iron and water power and mechanization. The second wave based on steam power and the rise of railroads. Then electricity and chemicals and the internal combustion engine. The fourth wave in the 50s, petrochemicals, electronics, aviation. The fifth wave, digital networks, biotechnology, and now the sixth wave, the sustainable development wave, the bioeconomy wave. A lot of very, very important concepts that will matter here in this region. And they are ideas around sustainability and radical resource productivity and whole systems design and green chemistry and industrial ecology, thinking about systems, thinking about energy and nutrient and matter flows as systems, harnessing those systems. What this means for Manitoba. We'll say a little bit about phosphorus before we begin. Many of you have noticed just in the last 6 weeks or so, the idea of agricultural nutrients as a scarce and strategic resource has really been elevated by this debate that has been sparked by the attempt of BHP Billiton to take over Potash Corporation of Saskatchewan. Now, what's interesting is that this international, multinational mining concern has identified an agricultural nutrient as a critical, scarce, strategic resource. Now, the odd thing is that the Globe and Mail published a reserve estimate of global potash, and it's 4,000 years. The most optimistic estimate we have of rock phosphate, phosphorus reserves, is only 300 years. And that's an optimistic. There are much shorter reserve estimates. Now, at the same time, we're taking this scarce, precious, strategic nutrient that's essential for world food security, and it's leaking into the lake, and it's fouling our precious Lake Winnipeg. And so something's amiss here. And I think the important thing is what we've really focused on is those two slices of this pie, the 32% and the 35%, which combined is 2/3 of the phosphorus load in Manitoba, which comes from watershed-based processes, both natural and human. We've thought about this and created a model of what the watershed of the future would look like if it was based around the idea of harnessing nutrients, recycling them, capturing them, producing high-value biomaterials to provide feedstocks for the bioeconomy that we think will characterize the 21st century. This will be the cornerstone of sustainable development. Some of the principles that we've established for what the watershed of the future should look like embrace these key principles. The systems approach, looking at the whole and not the slices of the whole, thinking about the whole, thinking about enabling policies that not only allow us to conceive of the whole and manage the whole, but invest in the whole. Communications and outreach. We've got a big journey ahead of us. We've got to get you folk, your friends, your aunts and uncles, your cousins, your brothers and sisters, we've all got to talk about this and figure out how to do this and figure out where our long-term strategic advantage lies in this. So there's a big communications and outreach piece here. And there's, of course, this really important story around innovative technology. There are really interesting technologies that can help. And we're actually involved in some at IISD. We've constructed a kind of a conceptual model of what the watershed of the future could look like. But the basic idea is that we have new ways of using our ecosystems to intercept nutrients and to transform the biomass that sequesters those nutrients into high-value products. We have environmental solutions that essentially pay for themselves. And one of the very important proofs of concept we have of this is our nutrient capture system in the mouth of the Red River, the Netley-Lebo Marsh, where we're actually harvesting wetlands biomass both for its nutrients and for its energy. And we can actually recover the phosphorus, this critical scarce resource, from the material after we use it for energy. The generalization of that idea is captured here in this biorefinery concept. The idea that we can take these feedstocks that have intercepted nutrients, that have basically done what nutrients are supposed to do and fuel photosynthesis, but take that material and now use it for economic purposes. We believe we can do this all the while actually improving ecological function of watersheds. We can actually enhance ecosystem function. We can improve biodiversity. Some of the ecosystem services that we think we can actually improve upon with this whole systems approach are reduced nutrients. We can certainly improve rural economies by creating these new value chains. We can store water, we can enhance biodiversity, we can improve recreation benefits, and improving our resilience to drought and flood as well by this ecological approach to watershed management with this major economic co-benefit, with this sustainable development perspective. So just to sum up, important message here. We believe that this approach will allow us to essentially close the phosphorus loop. We will no longer need to be concerned about excess nutrients loading up Lake Winnipeg. We can get this thing into balance and produce major economic development opportunities along the way. We did some scoping economic analysis, and we think the numbers are very impressive. Even at the low end, with the sort of the low value chains from such an ecological watershed management approach, we believe that the revenues, the feedstock revenues, are in the order of several $100 million. At the high end, in the best case, if we're producing things like green chemicals and bioplastics with this material, all the while sequestering nutrients, we could potentially be generating tens of billions of dollars in revenues for this province. So hopefully that's some interesting ideas to chew on. We've got a very important proof of concept, but we've also got a long ways to go in fully building out what this would look like and the kinds of strategic investments we'll need to make, the kinds of enabling policies we'll need to make, the kinds of research and development we'll need to incubate and apply here in Manitoba. But there is really an important underlying message here that innovation can help go a long ways to cleaning up Lake Winnipeg. This sort of sums it up, I guess. The three measures of success we believe that this project holds would be, firstly, improving the health of Lake Winnipeg by reducing nutrient loads. The economic benefit would be in embracing these innovation opportunities, creating a clean technology research and development environment here in Manitoba where these technologies are incubated and applied. And finally, the third pillar of sustainable development, the social, we think this will go a long ways to revitalizing our rural economic towns. And I'll leave it at that, with that vision of sustainable development as a guide for our discussions. So thank you very much.